Hello, and in this demonstration, we will show how to secure applications deployed in FLUIDOS using the services available in the platform. In this case, we will use Decepto, and a typical scenario user or administrator requests to deploy their service with HUNInet protection. The intent is received by the local FLUIDOS node which has not security capabilities. Node orchestrator checks the requirements but realizes the local node does not have the Decepto capability. Therefore, it asks the rear to find possible candidate nodes. Now, let's see how this works in a real scenario. On the left side of the screen, both at the top and bottom, we have the local node. At the top, the orchestrator, and at the bottom, the Kubernetes cluster information. On the right side, we have the FLUIDOS remote node, which meets the requirements but at this stage, the local node is not yet aware of it. Now, we can see the intent, translated into the MSPL language. Here, we request to deploy the service called shipping, which has a security policy assigned and a hard constraint to specifically use Decepto for HUNInets. The security policy shown below includes the configuration to deploy Decepto and link it to the service. In addition, it has a dependency rule that says, only deploy this component if the service is already running. We press to send the policy. The node orchestrator receives it and starts the orchestration process. As we can see, the orchestrator creates the solver, which is necessary to acquire new resources, since the local node cannot fulfill the security requirements. The solver resolves the request, and in the description we can see that the orchestrator asks for a candidate with Decepto capability. In the next step, the local node deploys the application on the remote node by offloading it. Since the security configuration must be applied locally, the local orchestrator waits until the application is running, and then forwards the intent to the remote orchestrator. Now, let's see this in action. You can see that a new resource had been acquired, and Lico is now connecting both clusters. Next, the system searches for the service in the available chart repositories. Once it is found, the service is installed and offloaded. On the remote orchestrator, as soon as the service is running, the security policy is triggered with the Decepto configuration. On the local node, we can observe that the service is deployed on the remote node through the contract managed by rear and the connection provided by Lico. Thanks to FLUIDOS, these technologies work seamlessly together. On the remote node, we can also see that the Decepto security configuration has been applied. A config map called AppGraph is created in the namespace of the service, showing its associated configuration. In this way, we have deployed a user service and added a security layer using Decepto. This was made possible by acquiring a remote resource that advertised the Decepto capability. We have verified the policy was successfully resolved, applying both the user service and its security dependencies. Thank you.